I think KB, it's fitting that I'm speaking to you and you're doing those rehearsals in the background and there's that national anthem. When you first came here, and did it dawn on you that you could be listening to your national anthem in an official capacity here?
No, it never dawned on me once that South Africa would play here. Obviously, you never know with a draw what could happen, but you just anticipate any team. I mean, you prepare the venues as meticulously as you can, but I think it's a bonus that our last match here, after such an incredible tournament, South Africa will be involved. And me being from South Africa, of course, a sense of pride that, you know, I get to be involved in a match of this magnitude, and you know, being involved in potentially part of a historic group of players, for me is just another feather in the cap.
In terms of experience in football and what you've done over the years, and I think now operating at this level, you're clocking close to 2 decades. I think you are 3 years away from the two decades in the space of professional level. Is this the highlight in terms of your involvement?
I would probably say so. I mean, you kind of think of these things not while you're in them, because, you know, we've got a big match tomorrow. A semi-final of the Africa Cup of Nations is a huge match in anybody's books. But, you know, after the tournament finishes and you think about it and you get to, you know, ponder and reflect on you know, my time in the industry, this is definitely up there. You know, there's many other matches that I've been involved in that are also very high up there, including the, you know, 2020 Champions League final between Al Ahly and Zamalek, which was also something completely, you know, different. The first time it was a Cairo derby, so it's definitely up there. I think for sure, based on the outcome of, you know, what happens with our national team, it potentially could be one of the biggest nights and moments of my career.
But all those have been juicy roles.
Yeah.
But here as the venue manager, can you take us through what does it entail and how does it differ from the normal role that you play?
Well, I think before we as GCs, you know, you're selected as a GC by CAF, and what used to happen before is that you would come in, you know, a week and a half before the tournament starts, and that's when you'd start to, you know, everything was reliant upon the LOC and COCAN just, you know, preparing everything. But I think in Cameroon, it was decided that there was going to be host city managers, and that's when we were there. I was living in Cameroon for 6 months, preparing that venue there for 6 months for the GC to come and take over when he gets there. And I think they changed it for this tournament, and they kind of used a hybrid system where we were also kind of venue managers. We were coming in before, so last year I was here quite a lot, I think 8 times. From August I was coming twice, 2 weeks out of the month I was here preparing everything, but then you're also given the responsibility of the GC as well. So it's a hybrid role, which is the first time they're doing it. But I think it worked out well in this case, because me coming here prepared me for knowing to get to know the people first and foremost that I'll be working with during the tournament, getting to know the environment I'm going to be working in, and then also understanding what's going on so that when the CAF delegation comes, you'll be able to give them, you know, the relevant, correct information and assist them in terms of doing their specific roles. So I think it's been something that has worked very well from a CAF point of view to have that kind of hybrid role where we get to know the venue very well and the people on the ground, so that we form that relationships. And I think obviously in football, relationships are the biggest thing, and working with people that know you, that understand you, and you also get to understand the place. For me, I call Bouaké my home now. It's my second home because I've been here many times and I love it here, and this is not the last time I'm going to be here. I'm definitely going to be coming back.
I even see the locals, even the local businesses, they even know you. They call you by name. So I guess, and one or two of them were like, no, you know, since he's been here for football, he's been talking to us. It's you become the face of CAF in the area.
Yes, yes, definitely. And it's a big responsibility because obviously working with CAF is already a big responsibility. So it's already that on my shoulders that I'm representing an institution like CAF. And obviously under the guidance of the president, we want to ensure that we elevate and grow African football. And I think you've seen through this tournament that, and I always tell people here, you know, you can always prepare a venue meticulously and it can be perfect, but if the football on the field is not that great, people won't remember. And I think the football gods have blessed us because we've planned everything meticulously, everything, you know, has gone well, and the football on the pitch has also, you know, been of a high quality standard. So it's been a very memorable tournament, and I think that everything's just aligning with the direction that CAF is going in.
Actually, I was reading something along those lines from Mark recently, that the football pitches, the training grounds, and I look at the training grounds and I think, more than just about the AFCON, the legacy that's going to be left here for the schools and for the local stadia that has been left, and you look at the pitches, well maintained as well. And I think just the way you at CAF, even the LOC, you've planned this. It's really more than just about CAF only. It's about also the legacy.
No, for sure. And I think we have to pay tribute to the people of Cote d'Ivoire because I think they were the drivers. I mean, we've known for a long time that Cote d'Ivoire is going to be hosting the AFCON. But 2019, they sent a delegation to go see what's happening there. Cameroon as well, they were there. So they've been planning for many years, and you can see that meticulous planning. And I think what their tagline was the can of hospitality. And I think everybody has felt that from the moment they set foot on in Cote d'Ivoire, that they feel that, you know, this is home. Everything has been hospitable here. The people have been great, and the focus has been directly on the legacy. As you say, the training pitches are all built at schools. Every single team has their own training venue. We didn't have to share any training venues, and they're all at schools. They're all at schools, and that's the legacy that Kokan has definitely instilled. I mean, even from this new thing we've started with AFCON City, you know, Cité Khan, where, you know, we've had challenges in past tournaments because of accommodation, hotels. You know, some cities have enough hotels, some cities don't. And I think they thought through and said, no, let's build the AFCON City where we can build a complex with villas where the teams can stay, they can feel at home. And then after
the brainchild.
It's a CAF Kokan brainchild, definitely. It's something that definitely they put their heads together, and it's because of understanding what the previous experiences were. And I think there was that very good collaboration between CAF and Kokan, and that very good understanding in terms of what was happening before. And they basically understood that we need to leave a legacy. I mean, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't sit well if you build a hotel in a city where it's not going to be used afterwards. So I think that's where they got together and they planned this very well, and the legacy is there. I mean, you can see the roads, the infrastructure in this country is of a high level, you know. So I really applaud and commend Kokan and the Cote d'Ivoirians, the Ivorians, in terms of, you know, how much they've put into this tournament, and they put in a lot, and I think history will judge them very well based off that.
So you first came here when? In September?
No, I started in April. I started doing a test match between ASEC Mimosa and USM from Alger. So that's when we started. I did 2 matches here, quarterfinal, semi-final of Confederations Cup, and that here in Bouaké. So ASEC Mimosa were playing their games here during that competition. So that's when I came at the quarterfinal, semi-final stage, and after that, that's when I started coming regularly, monthly from August, coming every month to do inspection visits, sit with the team, go to all the sites, competition sites, the stadium, the training sites, Cité Khan, the hotels, just checking the airports, just checking to see what the progress was, and making sure that at least, you know, everyone's on the same page in terms of the progress of all these different sites and the readiness of them, so that they can become these facilities that we're seeing now, that, I think all the teams, all the officials are very happy with.
Fortunately, I've been to all the host cities. The local businesses, especially from the accommodation side, and you can just mention different sectors, people here looked ready and prepared.
No, definitely. And they've involved everyone as well. You can see that, just in Bouaké, a lot of guest lodges, B&Bs have been built just for this tournament. It gives me a feeling of South Africa as well. When the World Cup was coming in 2010, everybody was having a bread and breakfast, but the opportunities have been there, and people have definitely been able to benefit because of the Kokan's willingness to make sure that everyone is a part of this, everyone is involved, and you can see that the people here are they want to make this tournament something great, because they want to have the sense of that pride that we were involved in this tournament, and we were involved in bringing the best Africa Cup of Nations in this country, and they played a huge role in that.
Mm-hmm. I remember, I think it was just on the eve or on the last day of the AFCON tournament in Cameroon, and I think it was the president of the FG. They said, by tomorrow, CAF is moving its office to Cote d'Ivoire to ensure that this tournament is a success. And I think this is a template now that has been proven, and it will ensure that this kind of tournament is not only successful in certain countries. Every country that gets to host an AFCON or even a CAF tournament matches this kind of a standard.
No, for sure. I think the standard has been set now. The bar has been set very high with this tournament, and obviously we need to keep raising it for every tournament. So I don't foresee why not we can have an office in the next places or editions that we go to. But I think obviously it only makes sense because you're more hands-on when you have people on the ground who are there every day, understanding what the challenges are, what the where you can find ways to get to the solutions you want to. So it only makes sense that people are on the ground, but obviously that will be decisions that will be taken based on which the next edition, which is in Morocco, they'll make that decision. But obviously for this competition it helped a lot having people on the ground, coming regularly, seeing the people one-on-one, because then when the tournament starts you don't feel like a stranger, you feel like you're already home, and it makes it a lot easier for everybody to work in an environment that you know very well.
What have been your highlights at this point?
Oh, geez. There's been so many, and things that I wasn't even expecting. And I think I mentioned before, the football on the field is number one. I mean, we just finished the quarterfinal match between Cote d'Ivoire and Mali.
And a lot of Malians living here.
There's so many Malians, there's so many Burkina, there's so many Ivorians. So just that match in itself, the way it played out, nobody could have scripted it. And I think that's been the kind of essence of this tournament. Nothing has been scripted. Everything is just, nobody knows what's going to happen. And that game was a total, it encompassed everything about this tournament, that, anything can happen till the last minute. And obviously, you always want to see the host country doing well, because the host country does well, then the mood in the tournament it continues, and there was a bit of a worry after the Equatorial Guinea match. What if Ivory Coast does not progress to the knockout stages? How is it going to affect the tournament? And that's why I say the football gods has just been with this tournament, and they got to progress, and what they've done since then has been almost a miracle. And
let's go from your soccer. So it was. Everything was happening.
No, it's everything. I mean, to have a quarterfinal match of that magnitude here in Bouaké was definitely a highlight, and now to have a semi-final with your host country, also a highlight. So I think everything has just been aligned in this tournament. The fan zones have been amazing. I mean, the celebrations that you saw when Morocco beat Zambia and they qualified, just people on the streets, how happy they were when they beat Senegal. But just everybody has just been crazy about football over this last month, and the passion of football in this country is so clear to see, and it's also been great to have fans from other countries, come and experience it as well. So, this country is definitely a footballing country. There's been so many great players from this country, so many legends, and you can see why, that football is a passion here.
And talking about passion, it's a special city. This is also the home to the Torre brothers, Colony.
Yes. I mean, you could say that about every city. Every city has a major legend here. So they're so proud to tell people that, they're from Bouaké. And I mean, Bouaké is the second biggest city in Ivory Coast, and went through a devastating period where they had a civil war and they've been rebuilding. And you can see with the name of the stadium itself that they're very intentional in terms of that, Stade de la Paix, the Stadium of Peace. So they're very intentional in that because there was a lot of people affected by the war in this region, and they're rebuilding. And I think this, to have Ivory Coast come and play here, it was almost like it was destined, to rebuild the country, to put things together and put all Côte d'Ivoirians, all Ivorians together in the city that was, devastated by the war not so long ago.
And you see it even with some of the buildings as you drive around here, that yes, those cars are there, but I also like how the stadium is also nicely positioned, and everyone is just coming in like this Stadium of Peace becomes something else.
No, I think the location of the stadium is one of the best for me because it's in the city center. It's not far away. You literally can walk from a school into the stadium. So it's part of the community. It's not something that's, out there and it's far away and we don't see it every day. People see the stadium every day because they drive past it, they walk past it, there's shops around there. So it's part of the fabric of the community. So I think it was well thought of in terms of making sure that the stadium does stay as part of the community. And the scars are there for the war, in terms of the war, the scars are there, you can see them. But the smiles are the ones that show that, even if the scars are still there from a physical point of view, and inside people are just, they've chosen a route in terms of what route to take, and people here are moving forward.
What can we learn back home when it comes to this football spectacle here?
No, I think as South Africans, we definitely we know a lot about hosting tournaments. That we cannot deny. We definitely know a lot about hosting tournaments. But I think from what I've seen here is the involvement of people. We definitely, I think people here from top to bottom have wholeheartedly been involved. And when they set that tagline of the can of hospitality, I think everybody lives it and breathes it. And I think it was maybe an instruction from the president, that this is going to be the can of hospitality. And it's truly, you feel it. You cannot find one person who does not show that to you. And from a human element, I think that's what we can learn in terms of ensuring that when people come to a country, we treat them with, everything that we can to make sure. And to be fair, South Africans are very hospitable people as well. And we definitely one of the most hospitable people on the continent. So I think we can take something from this. But definitely, it's been a joy to be here. My mother and my aunt came. They came for 10 days. I think that's the best trip in their lives. They can still not stop talking about it. They keep watching the matches late at night. They want to come back. So definitely, it's been a great tournament all round.
She was telling me that part of her coming here, not just to watch the tournament, was also to see you at work, and because she's always wanted to come and see, and she must be very proud of what you've achieved.
No, that's the one thing, because I think it started with, it was her birthday on the November 27th, and I bought her a Bafana jersey, and I said, this is for you to support the boys during the AFCON. And then right then and there, she's like, no, I want to come. And that's when I was like, are you serious? And then she said, yes, I want to. At least if I can watch Ivory Coast, the host nation, and Bafana, then I'm fine. And we started planning this trip. And for me, it was so nice because I wasn't, most of the time I'm out of the country when I'm doing work and I'm not at home. So it was nice to share a moment like that with my mother. And yeah, she was very proud. And to see me working, to see what I do, and to engage with people that I work with, and to understand, you know, the kind of work that we do, because sometimes the work that we do is never something that's, you know, shown out there. We're the ones who is always supposed to make things happen. We're in the background where we should be. You know, we shouldn't be in the forefront. The players should be in the forefront. But it was nice to share that moment with her and for her to see exactly what it is, the sleepless nights and the many days away from home that it takes. But you can appreciate it a lot more once you see it. Yeah.
And finally, for yourself, what experiences are you taking from here?
No, I think for me, every tournament I learned something new. I learned something new about the country. I learned something new about the people. I learned a lot about myself. And I think for this tournament, it's been, you know, resilience. Just in challenging times, you need to be resilient. There was so many times where throughout this whole journey that I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but you just kept through it. And it makes it so much sweeter at the end when you finally said thank you, you know, for sticking through with it, because you can see the joys and the fruits of your labor. So I think resilience is one thing that I've learned, is just to stick with what your gut tells you, just stick with it. And I think, you know, all in all, for me, you know, I'll continue being a servant of football. That's what I am. I'm not in football to be in the limelight or to be known or to be seen. But if I can have a positive contribution in football and people know that I have the best interests of football at heart, then that's what I take away from it, and I can live with it.
It also says more, and not just about trusting you, but also about how CAF values you, that they will put you here as what, venue manager / host system manager, GC, you know.
No, and you that's a privilege and a responsibility, you know. And for me, I always go with the mindset, every tournament could be my last, because there's no God-given right for you to be doing tournaments at this level, you know. There's only 6 GCs that they select, because there's 6 venues out of the whole of the continent, and to be one of those 6 means that you must be doing something right, and you don't take it for granted. You put in the work, you make sure that you work hard so that if another opportunity comes, they can select you and you'll be able to do it. But I'm definitely blessed, and I thank God that, you know, I have the opportunity to do what I do.
Mm-hmm. I heard you the other day, it looks like even your French has really improved a lot. Can you sign us out so that we can go and watch the training sessions of Nigeria and Bafana?
Merci à tous en Afrique du Sud et à Bouaké, bonne journée.
Merci.
Merci.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir.